Khan, Shalom. We're the brothers from the Great Millstone Branch out of Des Moines, Iowa, and we're going to start off by giving all praises
To
to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem, meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel. Starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel, and Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. That may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. And we also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, we're coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Habakkuk Kodash, and this is something that's been kind of resonating in my spirit. The past I'd say like week here, and I've been saying it, mentioning it to various brothers, and just thinking about it a lot as far as utilizing what we have. All right, focusing on utilizing the time that we have, utilizing the resources that we have first and foremost. All right, to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and not having the mentality of, oh man, if I had this or if I had that or if I had this time and that time, then I'll be doing this and then I'll be doing that. All right, and as I was thinking about that, I had came across a few different quotes as I was looking up, different precepts and different things that was kind of along those lines. All right, and I want to start off with this quote here and let you add something now.
No, you got it.
All right, so there's a quote, and just came across it on Pinterest. It says, waiting for perfect is never as smart as making progress. All right, and at times, we can find ourselves waiting for the perfect time, all right, to do a lesson, the perfect time to read. All right, now there's times, like you might, I'll look at it as a date, with Sophia, all right, and you might, light the coal, all right, you get home and warm up your room or dim dim the lights, however it is that you do it. I know I personally, when I get personal in my read and I really got that time where it's quiet at home, nobody's talking, I don't hear nothing going on, I'll light the coal and open up the book, dim the light a little bit, play a little background music and everything like that, and that's a perfect scenario of me reading,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, there's not always going to be a perfect scenario, okay? And I can't sit there every time that I want to sit down and read if I ain't got the lights dim and if the music ain't playing right, the right song ain't playing, and this and that and the third. Then that's when I decide to take action. And I'm just using that one thing as an example. All right. So we want to make sure that when it comes down to serving the Lord and understanding that at times things are going to be uncomfortable. All right. At times things aren't going to be perfect. Okay. You might have had to been dealing with, your woman giving you hell, or you had just got out of an argument, and you're trying to lock back in and focus on the spirit, or lock back in and focus on doing a lesson, whatever the case may be. All right, and you got to deal with those battles and those different uncomfortable situations. All right, serving the Lord isn't going to always be comfortable. All right, so we can't wait for us to be in the most comfortable predicament. All right, to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, but I want to read a little bit of this as well. It says, while you are still waiting to find an easy way or perfect time, someone else is already getting results. All right. And just applying it in the spirit. All right. You might be that brother that may be looking for the perfect time in your schedule to do this and that and the third and X, Y, and Z. And in reality, everything's supposed to center around Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai anyways, man. Okay. So our mindset should be everything is surrounded around that. All right. But reading this point again, it says, while you are still waiting to find an easy way or perfect time, someone else is already getting results. So you might have another brother, all right, his schedule tight as hell, but he's making it happen, all right. On his lunch break, okay, it might be a little noise in the background, but he's pulling up on his phone. He ain't got his Bible with him, all right, but he got it on his phone, so he's reading that chapter, all right. He's giving what he can, all right. He ain't worried about all the time that he doesn't have. He's using what he does have the best way as possible, man. He's observing the opportunity. All right, as the scripture says, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. Sirach chapter 4 and verse 20 says, observe the opportunity and beware of evil and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. But it says, observe the opportunity. All right. Take advantage of what you do have. Okay. Even in a carnal sense, right? You might not be making as much money, okay, but what are you doing with the money that you do have? You could always be like, man, if I was making this, if I was making that, and X, Y, and Z, I'll be doing this, I'll be doing that. I wouldn't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. All right, well, the situation is you don't have that right now. All right. So what are you doing with it? Okay. Using a more carnal example, with working out. I remember when I got to a point, years back where I was finally getting back into working out, and before I was making excuses like, man, I ain't got time to go to the gym and this and that and the third, and X, Y, and Z, but the spirit, had it to where I was like, you know what, I might not have time, or I might not have the resources to get to the gym when I would want to perfectly. All right, but what I can do is I can just do some push-ups. All right, that's what I can do right now, you know. So I had to take advantage of what I did have. All right. Nothing could stop me from doing that, nothing's hindering me from doing that, knocking out a couple push-ups, when I get up in the morning, I can do that, right? So utilizing what we do have in all aspects, all right? Utilizing the time that we have, man. The scriptures also talk about how is it worded? Leisure in Sirach. It's like the 38th chapter. Can you bring it up? Actually, you know what? Yeah, you can tell me the verse. I believe it's Sirach 38. So wisdom comes through opportunity of leisure.
Yep, I got you.
Kind of what?
This is Sirach 38 and verse 24. It says, "The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become
All right,
wise."
it says the wisdom of a learned man comes by opportunity of leisure, right? So leisure, all right, it goes back actually to a Spanish word, I believe it's lagar,
I
or a
can go to
Latin word,
I can go to
legere.
the etymon for
hmm I might not say it in the etymon, but
oh
it goes back to one. But we can still read it in the etymon, because
con.
it'll still tie in either way. But I know it relates to the word read. All right, I believe it's legare, which means to read, right? But that was Sirach, what, 38 and
38 and 24.
24. What you got it?
So for the word leisure in the etymology online, it's a noun, and it says free time, time of one's disposal also.
Right, it says time of one's disposal, that free time, right? Now, you might have a tight schedule, and a lot of the times we don't realize how much free time that we actually have. All right, you might not recognize how much time you waste on social media. All right, how much time you waste on thinking about what you finna do. All right, time that you waste on this and that and the third. All right, so in reality, you may have way more leisure time than you think. All right, so with that time, what are we doing with it? Okay. I remember growing up, I think spoke about this example.
Hmm.
I remember being like, damn, man, these other guys, they got access to go to the gym all the time, with basketball and everything like that, man, or they parents, man, they pay for them to go do this and that and the third, I'm like, man, if I had that, man, I'll be a all American by now, right? But then you have another aspect of it to where it's like you got different guys to where, all right, they might not have those resources, but what they're using what they have, all right, to be great. Okay, you can be great without everything being perfect. All right, you can be great, all right, without everything aligning perfectly. Okay, for you, man. See, great individuals, man, they make a way. All right, the greatest, they use what they have. All right, and make something happen out of it, man. Make something out of nothing. All right. And that's what we have to. That's how we have to be moving that mentality. All right, because things are going to change in our lives, circumstances are going to change. All right, but that can't change in effect. All right, our service towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. We want to continue to remain great, continue to serve the Lord regardless of the circumstances and so on and so forth. That's why the scriptures talk about in the book of it's in the New Testament. Let's see, take it's actually Mark chapter 8 and verse 30. This is Mark chapter 8 and verse 34. All right. Mark 8 and 34. Then calling the crowd to join his disciples, he said, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways, take up your cross and follow me. And actually, this is the NLT, but that's cool, but it says take up your cross and follow the Lord, right? All right, so that cross can be any difficulty or any different situations and so on and so forth. We have to carry those things and continue to follow the Lord. All right. We can't make excuses like, well, man, this happened and that happened. Nah, we got to continue to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, continue to move forward, even though we're dealing with these different difficulties, man. Those different difficulties and so on and so forth that we have to deal with, challenges in our lives. All right. We have to, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, overcome and continue to move forward. All right. We can't allow different circumstances and obstacles to completely hinder us from serving the Lord. All right.
Mhm.
Completely stop us. All right. Put us dead in our tracks, stagnant, and serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. But we read that Sirach.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of read a couple more definitions for the
Yeah,
word leisure.
con.
Yeah, so it also says opportunity to do something, a chance, occasion, opportune time, uh, capacity, ability, spare time. Yep.
That's it.
Pretty,
That's
yep.
it, man. All right. And like I mentioned, a lot of the time we have more of it than we realize, man. All right. And we can get caught up in our mind thinking about what we don't have. All right. To where we would neglect what we do have,
Mm-hmm.
neglect the time that we do have, or mismanage it, or not being disciplined with it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so focused on, all right, thinking about the little that we do have, man. Well, we got to use what we have at the time, man.
Yeah.
You know. I want to grab this in the book of let's see, Ecclesiastes, the 11th chapter. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 4. And I'm reading the NLT first.
Mm.
I'm in the KJV first.
Mm.
All right, Ecclesiastes 11 and 4. All right, in the KJV it says, "He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap." All right. Now let's read in the NLT just to get a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, you could change it
Yeah,
too.
change it up here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says, farmers who wait for perfect weather never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. So if you got a farmer, he's out in the field and he's looking up at the clouds, you're like, oh damn, it might rain.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, if it's gonna rain, there ain't even no point in me going out there. Then he ain't even finna do no work,
Yeah.
right? He ain't finna sow nothing. Why? Because he's so caught up in, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? Where you have another farmer, all right, yeah, he might be looking at the rain, but he's still or looking at the clouds, paying attention to it, right? But he still goes out in the field and he still puts in the work, all right. And then when the rain comes down, that's when he stops,
Mm-hmm.
okay. When the rain comes down, that's when he might have to go back in, but he still put in work until that point happened, man. All right. Until he was met with that obstacle instead of having that obstacle in his head and that stopped him from doing that. And that's a trait of a slothful man. All right. A slothful man to make all these excuses in his head and so on and so forth, right? As an excuse of him not to work, right? And it says that in the book of Proverbs. I believe I had it up. Proverbs. Let's go back to the KJV. All right, Proverbs 26 and 13. It says, "The slothful man saith, there's a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets," right? So a slothful man, look, this nigga, he probably ain't even look outside. All right. He talking about, man, I can't go out there, man. It's a lion in the street. This gonna happen. That's gonna happen, man. And we have to be careful about making these various excuses in our mind in different situations, man. All right. Over exaggerating shit in our head of things that didn't even happen, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to be mindful of that, man. All right, because what having that mentality or moving in that vibration can cause you to be stagnant. You tricked yourself into not doing anything, tricked yourself into being lazy, all right, because you perceiving that, whatever the case it may be, man. Hopefully, it's all making sense, and applying in the spirit, But
Mm-hmm.
let me read in another translation. In the NLT, the lazy person claims there's a lion on the road. Yes, I'm sure there's a lion out there, man. All right, so he's making up this dangerous situation. Well, this might happen and this might happen. All these what ifs. All right, to where he ain't gonna work. He ain't
Yeah.
gonna do nothing, man.
Yeah. And I was even thinking about what you brought out in that Ecclesiastes 4, because he was waiting for the perfect time. You know what I'm saying? He's just sitting around waiting for the perfect time. It's not always going to be the perfect time. Sometimes
Hmm.
you just gotta get to work. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I had this real quick
yeah. Go ahead.
because this is a like a worldly saying. It says strike while the iron is hot,
Hmm.
and what it says under it, and this is from the Cambridge Dictionary.
And that's why you hear brothers always say that. Apostle
Hmm.
Ramlab, they say, hey, man, you got to strike when the iron's hot, man.
Hmm.
Sometimes the spirit is hot on you. All right, might be at work. All right. And then it's like, well, damn, man, I ain't shit. I ain't got the time right now, man. There's been times, through the spirit. Now, everybody's situation is
Yeah.
different. Your
Yeah.
work's different, so
Hmm.
you might be able to do it, might not. All right. There's been times where it's like, shit, I didn't, I done ducked off, took me a little bathroom break for 15 minutes, so to
Hmm.
speak, right? Because it'll be times where it's like I'm just chilling in the restroom,
Hmm.
you know, whatever. But then I'm like, damn, if I could sit here in the restroom and just chill,
Yeah.
might be scrolling on social media or some bullshit. Then it's like, damn, the spirit hot on me. I can go duck off and do a lesson. You
Hmm.
know,
Or
you
you get
know.
some reading in,
Yeah,
you
get a
probably
quick read.
add more precepts to what you already have, you know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
just tapping into the spirit, man.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's like it ain't gonna always be the perfect
Yeah.
situation. You at
Right.
home sitting down,
Right.
warm as hell in
Right.
front of the fireplace, crackling,
Yeah.
music playing in the background. It ain't gonna always be like that, man. And you can't wait for that to happen every time to get to work.
Yeah.
All right, because if you're waiting for that perfect scenario to get to work, then you might only do one spiritual thing a week or whatever the case may be, man. Just
Hmm.
tying it in.
Yep.
But
But I had the definition for that phrase. It says to take advantage of an opportunity as soon as it exists.
yeah, observe the opportunity, man.
Hmm.
So we want to be more active and urgent to take advantage of these different opportunities, man. All right. You might have it in your mind, like, man, I want to read 4 chapters, right? And then you might get to a point to where it's like you got a little window of time, maybe 10 minutes, like, and you might recognize, like, man, I ain't gonna get this 4 chapters in right now, but you might be able to get 1 chapter in right then. You still observe the opportunity, all right? Or you might be able to, I might not get those 4 chapters in right now. I might gotta wait till after work, But shit, I'm just scrolling. I ain't doing nothing. I might not be able to listen at a lesson right now, but I could probably read a couple precepts, maybe get a inspiration, whatever the case may be, man. Just these different little things add up, and just having the mentality of using what we can, what we do have, man, instead of worrying about the time that we don't have or whatever the case may be, you know?
Hmm. But it says, I'm reading again. It says to take advantage of an opportunity as soon as it exists, in case the opportunity goes away and does not return.
Man, and bro, that happens, bro.
Yeah.
There's been times where a lesson will pop up in your
Hmm.
mind, and then you tarry to do it. The next thing you know, it's like you're trying to put it together, it ain't coming together. The
Yeah.
spirit ain't on you no more, and this and that and the third, or because hey, the spirit's like the wind, man. You know, so hey, just utilizing these different windows that we might have of our time, man. Or
Hmm.
whatever the case may be, right? Now I'm gonna read this Ecclesiastes 11, and I just want to read the commentary on it. All right. It says, I'm gonna read the Benson commentary. It says, "He that observeth the wind shall not sow. He who neglects the necessary works of sowing and reaping, because the weather is not exactly suitable to his desires,
Mm.
will lose his harvest." All right. So if you're waiting for that perfect time, man, you ain't gonna get no harvest, man. Even the Apostle Gabar had made a comment on this. Might have been last week or this past street or this past inside speaking that they did, but he had mentioned he's like, you got those what they call the fair weather Israelites. All right, they're waiting for the sun to be at the perfect peak
Mm. Yeah.
heat to be
To
on you
go out. Yeah.
perfectly. All right, to go out on the highways and byways, all these perfect circumstances for them. It's like, nah, man. All right, in season and out of season, man. Okay,
Yeah.
having that mentality of like, look, we gonna go to work, man. Now,
Mhm.
if the circumstances are extreme,
Yeah.
then we're gonna use
Wisdom.
wisdom,
Right.
right? But we ain't finna sit there and you might have a nigga like, oh man, it's 40 degrees out there, man. Nah, man, everybody finna get sick, man. I ain't finna take my guys out there and get sick, man. I can't like nigga, no.
Hmm.
Everybody ain't finna get sick in 40-degree weather. You all right, bundle up, you'll be cool.
Right.
You know? I ain't finna make all them excuses, man. But having the mentality of what, man? Working, getting it in. All right. Observing the opportunity, man. It says, whereby he intimates that men will never do good here, which is expressed by sowing and consequently not receive good hereafter, which is called reaping, if they be discouraged from it by every doubt and difficulty. All right. So you'll have those different things come into your mind, like the scripture says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right, so as soon as that doubt or difficulty comes, we shouldn't just immediately stray away. All right, just because the circumstances may be a little bit more difficult, you may have to put in more effort to read at a certain time, or you may have to put in more effort to get in that lesson, right? But that shouldn't sway us from still fighting to do these things, man. Or you perceive like, oh man, this man, I ain't gonna be able to focus, or I ain't gonna be able to do this and then the third. But if you actually put forth the effort and try, you might recognize that, man, I can focus, I can get something in. This is profitable for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, whatever in whatever capacity, man, you
Yeah.
know. But you had anything?
No, no, no.
So, we're just gonna end it right there through the spirit, man. Lord's what I was edifying, Lord's what brothers got some type of exhortation or, urgency, from that man. And having that being said, we're gonna give all praises to Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua,
Bahashem
Bahashem,
Rakakwadash.
Rakodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. With that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.